evening and welcome June 1st.
Crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Huh?
Sure
Absolutely crazy. June 1st. But we're all in our natural setting at home for just this week.
Yeah.
and then we get our track shoes on and we hit the road running.
Yes, we do.
You're back home, what, the very end of the month
Yep. Next 3 weeks are going to be
on the
booked.
road?
Yep. So, good evening, Joe Stinger, Brian Brown. We're home for tonight, and we got plenty to talk about. But I'm gonna try to keep it as positive as I possibly can.
Absolutely. Never quit.
That's the end of my positivity right there. I tried.
Uh-huh.
I tried.
It's a little tough.
It is beyond tough. It's beyond tougher than any Philly sports fan could have imagined. Following up the Sixer season, following up the Flyers season, and now with the Phillies. And Shawnee, you're spot on because the OTAs have started and we're already into the Eagles season. It's going to be a long summer. I'm sure everybody already knows that Harper's out of the lineup tonight. Gene Segura's out of the lineup for the next 2 months. I don't know. You guys, what are you guys thinking? Help me out here. Dig me up out of this hole.
Well, just look at it this way. There's 112 games left. We could turn it around. Next 10, like you said, next 10 to 12 weeks without Segura is going to hurt. Getting that into our depth of our team is not, as we always said, not what we want to do. It'll give some of these young guys a chance to shine. Hopefully, Grayson Stott takes it by the bull by the horns and can run with it. And same with Nick Maton, who got called back up today. So hopefully we'll see some of those guys take the next step up. No, I'm not drunk. They will turn it around. I'm telling you.
It's weird. John and I, we keep having these moments of agreement, but I'm right there with them. It won't last forever.
Right.
Just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how great they were doing when they were out there playing the Dodgers and went 5-2.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's baseball. It's a really long season, I guess, for a reason. And let's not quit on them too quick is what I guess I want to say. I think the Harper injury just needs to come out. Just rip the Band-Aid off and tell us how bad it is, and let's just get that past where we're at, and let's figure out how bad that actually is. But yeah, I mean, let's not all freak out. I did think it was interesting. Gabe Kapler, they tried to sort of ask him about how he's been successful with the Giants, but couldn't be with the Phillies. Didn't really give an answer. He kind of danced around it. He said there was a lot of factors and it would be silly for him to sort of try to pinpoint which ones it was that made him not successful. But I think that in a nutshell kind of answers it all. There are so many things that make this team unsuccessful that when they're good, it's surprising. When they're bad, okay. I mean, it shouldn't surprise us. When you started the show and said, Philly sports fans, did we expect this? My immediate thought was, yeah, because it's Philly and nothing ever goes according to plan. Nothing ever looks on paper and performs on the field the same way. So, yeah, of course I expected it. They thought we were going to be one of the greatest teams in baseball, and we got the same record as this guy's team over here. So, that was a lot all in one breath. But I guess what I'm saying is I haven't given up on them yet. I think there's still a lot of time to fix things. I want them to be honest with us about Bryce Harper's injury and just rip the Band-Aid off and just let it be what it is. And the guys will eventually mesh and figure it out. And if they don't, Gabe Kapler said there's a lot of issues. So,
All right. So with all that being said, and hey, by the way, there's an opening at 97.5, and I think you should throw your hat in the ringer because you explained it a lot better than they do.
I wouldn't take that guy's place if it was the last job on the planet.
Yeah, but you're talking about a homie. You're talking about a we are. He played at Penn State. Come on. It's.
You're
But
not
anyway.
going to get any Mike Missinelli love over here if that's what you're trying to draw out of me. So that ain't going to happen. It's going to take a lot of these.
I know that. I know there's a love-hate there. But anyway, hey, here you go. Shawnee's throwing stats at me, 4 months, 112, the Nats won this, the Nats won that. Here you go, sports fans. The Phillies, our Phillies, my Phillies, since 2016 through right now, last night, they have allowed 135 ninth-inning home runs. They lead all of baseball.
I thought we were trying to stay positive.
I am. I'm throwing those positive numbers out there because there's nobody.
They were the best?
We got this one nailed, right? The second fewest is the Nats with $130, and then here come the Twins with 121. I mean, seriously? I mean, you're talking since 2016, we haven't been able to figure out this bullpen a little bit?
Nope.
A little bit.
Nope.
Well, they never focused on that.
And we're still kicking Ed Wade's ass for trading and giving up who for Brad Lidge?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It just, I just look around baseball and, the bullpens are horrible throughout baseball. I mean, there's only a handful of good bullpens. And
right.
you're really going to get lucky when you find a guy. They were bragging the other night during the Mets, I believe it was, the Mets series, where the guy was playing independent ball with the Ducks a year ago. And they brought him in for a tryout, and now he's like the second best reliever in their bullpen. But it's just, the Phillies just can't get out of their own way right now. I mean, it's just one bad thing after another. I mean, all the positivity last night, okay, you lost game 1 with the Giants. You roll into last night, it's 3-3 late in the game. And, oh, by the way, Anthony, it was a 5-hour game. And I know you're big on shortening up the game.
Yep. No one wants to watch that.
Well, that's another positive for the Phillies. We got the longest baseball games this year. Average time. We're the longest.
Who's got 5 hours to do anything? That's outrageous. That's outrageous. There's not one young kid that wants to sit down for 5 hours to watch anything.
Shawnee, I'll give anybody a chance. Billy Sullivan, I'll give anybody a chance. We can give that Miles Teller actor a chance tonight. Throw a uniform on him while he's down there.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
But I also don't feel like the Phillies have ever really, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like the Phillies ever really focus on the bullpen anyway. They always focus on these big hitters, at least recently, big hitters, big batters. You got to get this Harper. You got to get this guy. You got to get Schwarber. You got to get blah, 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 blah. You got them all. Okay, guess what? Someone's got to throw. I don't feel like that's ever a focus. And now it's coming to haunt you. Now, that's not the only thing. They're inconsistent a lot. They're the definition of what's wrong with baseball sometimes with the home runs or the striking out. But that's a lot of teams. But if you have that and you have bad pitching, you're not set up to be better than what they are.
But you know what I see, and I'll keep this brief because I know we can't really say too much about the Reading Phillies specifically, but I see it there too. I see the inconsistency there. One game they win 10-1, and the next game they can't even get a hit. So it's the entire organization from top to bottom. It's not like any of the minor league clubs are taken off.
Right.
None of them are. It's the same thing in Lehigh Valley. I just have better access and I watch more of the games in Reading to know that for a fact, but it's the same thing. It's the constant inconsistency. And I don't know how you fix that. I don't have an answer for it. It's merely just an observation, but it's from top to bottom. So that to me is so much of a player issue as it is an organization issue.
It's a developmental issue.
Well, yeah, it's
with the organization.
It's drafting. It's all that stuff. I mean, if you have the same guys that have been doing it for a long time, and then you keep bringing the same guys out there, there's only so many chances that you can give them if they're the ones drafting. I mean, maybe you got to shake things up, and maybe they don't want it because some of the guys are friendly or whatever it might be. But I just don't understand how you can keep doing what you're doing here and not shake anything up. I mean, I know there's a lot of games to go, but it's just it's going to be a long summer if they don't get something going with pitching. And I mean, and all these pop-ups too, just like pop-up after pop. It's fascinating.
Hey, Odubel Herrera got a base hit.
Okay, good for him.
There you go. But yeah, no, it is, Anthony. I mean, it's just organizationally they just don't develop players enough, and that's what's killing this team because you can only spend so much money to get players.
Well, even
and you're always going to leave yourself a hole, and that's happened with us every year.
The teams that have traditionally paid for their players at the bigger markets, they've actually done a great job recently of drafting players.
Right.
So they've gotten away from the Yankees haven't been spending over the last few years the max that they can. They've been going with some of their younger guys and they've been making the playoffs. So I don't know. The Phillies just there's a lot of things there. I don't know that it's an easy fix. You would think that with the lineup on paper they should be good, but
well, we've been saying this for a long time now because they went in the hole and tried to blow things up. What, John, 2011?
Yeah.
They have drafted terrible. Just flat out terrible, and it's coming back to haunt us now because now you're year 4, 5, and 6 into some of these guys, and most recently, I watched Jalen Ortiz, who can't get out of his own way in Reading.
Yeah.
They signed him to $1 million signing bonus when he was 16 years old. We've waited 6 years for him to become the next great Dominican player, and he's still in Double-A ball. I mean, it's unfortunate. I used to think that the older veteran guys, the Matt Stairs type hitting coaches and, even the Charlie Manuels of the world, I don't even know who the hitting coach is in Reading, and we just seem to be bypassing a lot of good years. I think this might be Jalen's last year of eligibility, and the Phillies are probably going to either have to re-sign him or let him walk.
Well, it's funny you should say about, who the hitting coach is in Reading, because the other day, this coach sort of just appeared in the dugout, and George, the photographer, said to me, "Do you know who that guy is?" I said, "No, I have no idea who he is." I think he was wearing number 45, maybe. He goes, "They change coaches in and out of this dugout more than I can keep track of because
Really?
they try to get pictures of the guys for, database, team set, whatever the case might be." And he goes, they change coaches more in and out of this dugout than I've ever seen before. He goes, "I can't even keep track."
I think you have the one or two solid guys that are there all the time, but then you have these rovers that go throughout the whole system and they just rotate through the 3 teams.
But what are they doing?
I don't know. I think they're trying to preach a system at every level, but I think I don't know. I think sometimes it might be too much thinking. Just keep one guy in there. And
Joe Stinger brings up, a good point, and I've hung out with Joe Stinger down in Florida at the minor league camps, and one of the big years was the year after they traded Cole Hamels to Texas, and we got back 5 players. John, help me out here because I know we got a couple of stud prospects that were supposed to be can't miss players, and I don't think there's anything left from that trade whatsoever
There isn't.
in the organization.
Not one guy left. Alfaro, Nick Williams. Who else was there? There was you had a few guys there, and none of them. They had a cup of coffee here, and they fizzled out. And it just keeps going back to we just don't develop players. We don't, and it's terrible. Just how inept they are at getting guys to come up, and we have a few guys here and there like a Connor Brogdon and a Reese Hoskins that come up, but they are 6th and 7th round picks that they're taking flyers on, and because of injuries they have to bring them up, and they do well, but it's not like we can't get our top prospects, like a Bryson Stott, we've drafted him high. You get Alec Bowman, you draft him high. Moniak, is finally making it up. Cornelius Randolph, and you just go down the line with Adam Hazley. It's just like you can't miss on those guys. To get a few guys that are later in the draft, great. If they're able to play, it's a bonus. But you can't keep missing on all those top prospects that you could have, because that's why you have to go out and spend $256 million or whatever they're spending this year, and to be able to have a half decent team, and they're not even half decent right at the moment. It's sad. It's just how you just keep going through it, and then they with these analytics. I mean, what you just flipped it over twice now in the past 5 years with coming over, and I don't know. There's just the game's being played too much on paper, and in the organization. And I think
isn't that throughout all of sports?
No, it is. But we just got the.
We're just doing a piss poor job
right.
of playing it on paper. Excuse my language, but
Well,
it's just gotten uglier by the game. We joked about it with Ricky when we had Ricky Bottalico on a couple of times, and how crazy he gets after a bad loss, and I mean he spells it out. I mean, it's god awful ugly, and firing Joe, is that the answer? I mean, firing Joe. I mean, then who are you going to bring in? You're going to give the job to Dusty, on an interim basis. You're going to give the job to Thompson, the bench coach, on an interim basis. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense when you've got all these issues, and you've spent all this money.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom line, the end result is winning, right?
Oh yeah.
Putting your team in contention. Where are they at today with? They're totally out of the playoff hunt, right?
They're 13 out of the division and 7 out of the wild card, and it's only June 1st.
It's just, it's
the problem is you get rid of Joe. That's just a move on the surface. That doesn't fix anything. I mean, that doesn't fix these issues. That doesn't make the guys hit. That doesn't make the pitchers pitch better. I mean, he's like, there's so many other things that you'd have to do that the fans don't see. An easy move is to get rid of Joe, and Joe would be fine with that and go announce for another year and get a job somewhere else. But that's not going to fix the issues of the Phillies. The Phillies have some deeper issues in a lot of things, and number one of that is the drafting and the prospects and the minor league level. Like we said before the season started, there's really not much down there. You got Logan O'Hoppe, a couple of guys here or there, but other than that,
and the problem is the players that we do have, they're blocked. Like O'Hoppe, is blocked with JT, and Derek Hall is another guy that's doing well down there, and you got Reese playing at first base. So,
I guess you could trade those couple guys that you have for better prospects or something. But I mean, that's what you're really limited to 2-3 guys throughout the whole minor league system.
Right, and the thing too is, as we just saw with Gabe Kapler switching over to Joe Girardi, this team over the past 6 years is run the same exact way on the field, and I still, until somebody proves me wrong, I don't think the manager is actually making any calls on the field. I think it's being ran up above.
Well,
And
I don't disagree with you, John. I try not to agree with you
I
because
know you don't.
there's already somebody on the show that has taken that role over. But here's my thing. When Joe rolled into Philly, right? Everybody, it was like, oh my God, we got Joe
Right.
Girardi.
Exactly.
We got, the former New York Yankee. God, he's the best manager on earth,
Yep.
right? And he sat there at the press conference, and I forget Jim Salisbury or one of the guys that follows the team asked him about his book. Apparently, he's kept a current book of baseball reports and
Yeah.
players and whatnot. And Joe went into this big analytic conversation about how he's involved with analytics, but he's still an old school manager. And I'll never forget that conversation because it caught my attention.
Yep.
That he came here with the intention of, it wasn't going to be 100% analytics. He was going to have the final say. And I still honestly believe, that he does. But I just think he looks to those papers just a little bit too much. You know what I mean? And he has his hands tied because of the 3-batter rule, with the relief pitchers. When has this team been 100% healthy? When have they been 100% healthy that, you didn't have to worry about shutting a guy down because he pitched 3 straight days or giving, here it is. We were the last week of May, and he's already worried about giving his starters an extra rest day.
Yeah.
That's the analytical part of this conversation that if you want to say what drives me crazy, it's that. JT Realmuto had 3 days off in the past 10 games.
Right. And you're going to have 2 days off, Thursday, tomorrow, and Monday.
That's the analytic part of I'm going to call it a business because that's exactly what it is, and it just drives me crazy. And I think that's what drives everybody crazy,
Well, and the thing is, you can't everyone just wants to get it. And I get it. You want to get a coach that yells and screams and at least it looks good. At least it looks good. People look like, well, he at least cares. I don't know that that's going to do anything either. These guys are not young guys. People are saying they're a lot of veterans on this team. They got to stand up and lead the young guys by example. And then when they're striking out left and right, what do you want the young guys to do?
Here's another thing, and John and I have talked about this, and it drives me crazy. There just doesn't seem like there's any energy in the dugout, right? You had Brad Miller there the past couple of years, minus a few games, right? He brought on the bamboo. He brought on the Homer hat. He brought excitement to the locker room. He brought excitement to the dugout. He brought excitement.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't have that. You don't have that piece.
Well, that's the problem too.
But Harper's that way, though. Harper's around the. He had that bomb in Atlanta. He's like, "Let's go!" You can see him yelling, running the bases, and then,
and then he disappears.
Well, he disappears.
It's like he's, he was put in timeout. He goes, sits in the corner, and you don't hear from him again.
Well, that's because Knubel gave up a home run right after that, and the game's over. But to get back to you, because when you asked me that question about Girardi with his comment, I had a flash of light here today, and I got distracted, and I forgot to answer you. And before we slip away, I think Girardi made those comments, and he may have been told to say that as a PR move because that's what everybody was hoping for. That the manager is going to go off of his gut, and that was like the biggest thing that we didn't think Kapler was doing when he was here. And he may have been told, "Hey, get this in there that you're using your gut to make some of these decisions, and because that's going to get the fans on your side, and it's obviously not the way that it's happening because, like I said, we keep seeing the same exact. The teams ran exactly the same, having the same issues for the past 5 or 6 years.
I just wish, I don't know. Charlie Manuel got a rough time, when he came here, and there was a certain reporter that tried roughing him up after a game press game, post press conference, and Charlie got right back in his face.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He got right back into his face and let him know, this is his team and this is the way things are going to be. And I just don't know. And John, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just having a hard, difficult time believing that this team is being controlled by a bunch of 20-year-olds across the street, that are playing this video game and figuring out, what's the best 1 through 9 tonight. And
it's very hard. It's very hard.
2 weeks from now.
I think that's the problem, though, because that's probably for the majority accurate, and it's not a Phillies thing. That's
it's baseball.
Entire baseball thing. That's why it's so darn boring. That's why there's 5-hour games. What they're trying to do is speed it up. It's making it slower.
Yep.
Bunting and stealing, and it makes it go quicker and more exciting when you're striking out left and right, and every pitch count is 3-2. I mean, it's doing the opposite of what they're trying to do, and it's not a Phillies thing. It's every team.
It is, but they all do it a little bit differently because, like you said, Anthony, it's all around baseball. And just look at it right now. Gabe Kapler wouldn't bunt here, and he came out and said, we won't bunt. Nothing's going to be bunting. The Giants lead the league in bunt hits this year. Their analytic department looks at it differently than the Phillies analytic department. It's just totally different. Even pull one out, Longoria yesterday as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning. Who does that? Like, unless it's an analytic move, there's no baseball reason for doing that. He's the hottest hitter on their team, and you're going to pull him out in the 5th inning in a tie game when you need him to play defense and also hit later on, who can hit a base hit. And to answer Lauren or Sue's question, who we want to manage, might as well just get Howdy Doody out there because all they are puppets. So it doesn't matter who the manager is because it's going to be just a head figure out there, making the call, but he's being told what to do.
And it really depends on the system. So yeah, Kapler might lead the league in bunts, but maybe he's got more of a little bit of a leash than not saying that Joe doesn't, but maybe they're more open as a team to letting the manager manage a little bit more. And other teams are very much by the book. And, one of these days there's going to be a guy, maybe of a small market team, one of these teams that just says, enough, we need to compete and I'm going to do whatever it takes. And then if that team is competitive, you will see teams follow, but someone has to be the leader in doing that. Until that point, it's not going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, it's a copycat league. You're right, Anthony. That's all it takes.
Well, it's happening throughout all the sports.
Right.
It's just not a baseball thing. Let's talk about that a little bit because it's happening, throughout. Anybody watching playoff hockey, as soon as these guys come off the ice, they got iPads directly behind them. They turn around and grab the iPad and they're watching the replay of the game. Like as soon as they come off the ice, the game has changed.
It's too much. It's too much information. When you went out and played as a kid, you had a general scheme of what you were going to do, and then you tried to do it. And that's what you should be. When you have to analyze every little play, it gets into your head. It doesn't make baseball flow naturally.
And then especially when you're not playing well on top of it.
If you're not playing well and then you're overanalyzing, then you're striking out more.
Right.
So it's I don't know, man. It's a game that's changed very much in the last 5 years, that's for sure.
Hey, it's 7:00. We got some bills to pay. I'm not asking for any money, Lauren, or anything like that, but we got some sponsorships to acknowledge, and I see my man AP. Can you raise that bag you're sipping on? There you go.
That's
There you
yummy.
go.
Iced tea.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
There you go. Well,
So good.
Our presenting sponsor. I want to thank them. We just celebrated with them their second anniversary, and hopefully they're around for a long, long time. Um, but
Open up a gin. They're doing a gin line now.
they're
It's in
working.
the process. Yep, it's in the
Yeah,
process.
gin, rum, and bourbon.
Yeah.
I'm not giving any secrets. Nick told me all about it.
Oh yeah. Yep. They're bringing it all out.
Yeah, so kudos to them. But real quick, next Wednesday night we're going to be out in Reading again. I love going out there. Baseball Town is a second home. I wish it were just a tad bit closer for me because the older I get, the less driving I want to do. But I enjoy that drive. And next Wednesday night, Anthony, is wrestling night.
It's wrestling night. Yeah, tribute to wrestling night. It's Kevin Nash, autograph session, appearance, bobblehead. Should be a great night.
And who's sponsoring it?
Mr. Carl's Cards. So it should be a good night. It should be. I mean, when you look at like social media interaction and ticket sales, that and like Harley Night, I think, are the two highest of the entire year. I mean, we haven't done many bobbleheads this year, so this is pretty exciting for people, and it should be fun.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And while we've got your attention, and you brought up the Carl's Cards name, that Saturday, June 11th, we have who?
Oh, Kent Colby's coming on Saturday. That's
We have Kent Colby.
That's a big one.
I thought you'd be a little more excited about it.
I know, right?
No, my mind's
right?
mind just all over the place. No, that's good.
Get him another iced tea, please.
No, that should be a good one. People will be excited. I don't think he's been around here since it's got to be a decade or more. I mean, he was at our stadium maybe 15 years ago, but he had long retired from announcing by that point.
Okay.
Yep.
So
he'll be next Saturday, June the 11th, or I should say two Saturdays. Kent Colby will be appearing at the store. So we got a busy June, really busy June, between This Fan's View, Carl's Cards. We've got a really busy June. I mean, Lauren and I were going over the schedule today, and the following week we're back up at Dagwood's Pub for our 200th show.
Yep.
Who would have ever thought?
Yep.
Who would have ever thought 200 shows?
And who's going to be the guest?
That would be Hall of Famer Mark Howe.
Woo.
Anybody that don't know much about hockey, just Google the name Gordie Howe. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Mark's his Hall of Fame son, and I'm pretty. Everybody knows I'm a hockey guy, so I'm pretty stoked for that one. He doesn't do very many of these, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night up at Dagwood's, and we'll definitely have a toast for our 200th show.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Got a nice Hall of Famer coming.
What are we toasting? So that's June the 15th. And then Lauren just dropped this one on me the next night. So Lauren, why don't you do the honors?
Recently retired Football Hall of Famer Ray Didinger is coming back to Carl's Cards on Thursday the 16th to sign some copies of his new book. So that'll be exciting, I think, from 6 to 8 p.m.
Very cool. Very cool. That book signing is a sellout every time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it.
Even more than Barnes and Nobles, according to the Ray.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yep.
It's a real good one. And then 2 days later, we're back at the store with a couple of pretty familiar Flyers legends. Brian Propp will be in the house. Lou Nolan will be in the house. And First-time guest Lou Seinfeld will be in the house. So we'll have plenty of books, plenty of cigars. Going to be a fun time.
Oh yeah.
So we got a lot going on.
Plus it's the 27th anniversary month.
It is. It is. It is. June's a great month. It's my wedding anniversary. It's the anniversary of the store. We got a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
We got a lot. We're busy. And then the following week we finish out I think we finish out the month. I'm not sure. There's still a few days, so who knows? We're back at Hanrahan's Irish Pub in Delco with Jim and Joe Watson.
Yes.
So generally those guys are at locations but never together. So I'm really looking forward to having the two of them together. We'll have some special things to get autographed and do some promoting with them. Hanrahan's is a great spot in Delco. It's a big hockey crowd, so that'll be a lot of fun as well. So you need to do two things. You need to follow us at This Fan's View if you don't, and you need to follow Carl's Cards. And shame on you after 27 years if you haven't followed us. Because we got a lot of cool stuff going on, and we're pretty excited about all of it. So, with all that being said, as bad as our Phillies are playing, they're winning 1-0.
Rhys Hoskins with the base hit.
Rhys is on fire. He's on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right, Joe Stinger. I always used to look forward to you. You were usually the first guy in the store for all them signings back in the day. And I see all your recent photos that you always put up with all the former guests and whatnot. Some cool times back in the day. But real quick, there's not a whole lot going on with Flyers talk. They're still looking for a coach.
How about the rumors? What do you think about Kirk Muller? That's their guy that they're looking for.
Well, the other name that surfaced is Jim Montgomery. He was an assistant with Greg Berube in St. Louis. So there's a couple of different names that have surfaced. So I don't know what the Barry Trotz's interview was like, but they let him get out of town with offered him the job, and the same with John Tortorello. So a couple of veteran guys that have bounced around, but the Flyers still need a coach. So if anybody's interested, send your application, send your resume, send your whatevers, because they're looking for a coach. Not quite sure what they're looking for, but they're trying to revamp that whole team. So, you look at what the Rangers have done in less than 5 years. They were bottom dwellers themselves, and here they are. They're making headline news for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Lauren, Sixer talk. I hear your guy had a couple of hand surgeries.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of assumed all that was going to happen in the off season. So hopefully, those happened early enough that he can get himself situated and together and ready for training camp and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I know there's been a lot of talk, and that's all it really is talk right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly be surprised if the team got rid of Doc Rivers, and I would be surprised if you really saw any crazy sort of shakeup in the offseason. I don't see something like that coming.
Yeah.
No.
So Vegas has changed his name again. Vegas Shuggy.
Yeah, that's his actual last name, I believe, but he he was on the Stott bandwagon, and Stott went a little cold. So he had to wait the 60 days for Facebook to allow him to change his name. So
man, he jumps right off the bandwagon.
Oh yeah.
At the moment somebody's not doing well. That sounds like a Philadelphia fan if I've ever.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just the way he is. He goes one side to another. Tomorrow he'll be back saying that Bryson Stott's going to be the next Mike Trout, and it goes back and forth. I mean,
well, he's not going to be able to change his name back.
No, he'll have to wait another 60 days to.
And he's got to wait. He's got to wait 60 days to get back on This Fan's View too. So,
it's one of those things. Yeah, it all depends on the.
He's blaming his wife.
Yeah, well,
that's the easy route. I got one of those too. Always blaming me for why we're not going somewhere. Or,
wait! I just missed a Joe Stinger update, and I will see you next week. So I guess Joe's going to be in town. Is that what I'm?
Unless you're moving the shop to Florida, I would say he's going to be in town.
There you go. Well, it'd be good to see you, Joe Stinger.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of love there. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe somebody's graduating or something, or you're coming home for. No, I think the wedding was already happened.
Maybe he's just coming home to see you.
There you go. You go. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that. So speaking of weddings, there's a big one that's been planned for March of 2023, and John and I got who is this? Oh, now he's got his wife jumping on.
There you go.
I made him change his name. It was annoying whenever I tried to tag it in a Facebook message. Shuggy, you got your own problems, buddy.
But,
where was I? Oh, the wedding. The wedding of 2023. Yeah. So, you guys sent out celebrity save the dates.
Yeah.
Well, a certain somebody sent a certain someone one Citizens Bank Way. Any guesses?
Who he sent it to specifically?
Yeah.
Bryce Harper.
Ding, 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 ding.
Echo.
Yeah.
Is he coming?
I don't know. We'll let
he's right there. He's right down the street, so I'm sure.
Technically.
Yeah.
So not far.
You guys can go and pick him up. How about that?
All right.
You got it.
He's probably staying like right around the corner at one of them, high-rise joints. So
Absolutely.
he's probably, real close by.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we got our first husband and wife combo act on the comment list. So
I don't really understand how the new last name is any better than Stott, but all right, I'll roll.
Well, his wife's also a Giants fan, so this week's not a good week for him.
Oh, see, John, you always bury the lead.
Yeah, well, got to do what I got to do sometimes. So, yeah, but yeah, she's a Giants fan.
All right.
I think she just likes the muscles from Kapler. She was a Phillies fan for a little while. But.
You know what? I'm finding her more entertaining than him, actually.
Well,
that would really chop his ego if we had her on and not him.
Uh-huh.
Oh my! So much for that. So much for that. So let's get back to Reading. Let's get back to baseball town. I've been seeing the numbers. The crowds are. You guys have been killing it up there.
Yeah.
I think you guys have more fans than the Phillies get.
The Phillies look pretty empty today. I don't know what's going on, but we had a good weekend despite the threats of rain on Friday. I mean, we had probably, I think they said 21,000 plus over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is good.
Yeah.
And Friday had a little bit of rain there too, and but it was good. It was a great weekend. I think it's more than any other Double-A team. So it's good. Hopefully we can keep it going on. Now we have 2 long ones coming up, so hopefully we can sustain it. But it's been good.
Yeah, Moni mentioned it.
They're up in Hartford, right, this week?
Yep. Yep.
The
You know that
Hartford
they're
Yard Goats.
No, they're there. Yeah, they're in Hartford.
And then where?
I'm home for 2
And they
weeks.
come home? Okay.
Yep. First
Okay.
time we've been home for 2 weeks. So it'll be a long one.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very good. Very good. Lauren, anything new on your front with Humane Pennsylvania? Things quiet this time of year?
Not exactly. This is our event season, so we do a lot of smaller miscellaneous events. They started up probably shortly after the walk, and we pretty much have something every weekend through the end of October at this point. So this Sunday we have our next mini pints. That's at Liberty Tap Room in Reading. So if anyone's in the area and wants to swing by, that's from 12 to 4. Liberty Tap Room specifically. There's a few sort of Liberty Tap Rooms with similar names in the area, but this one specifically at the Liberty Tap Room from 12 to 4 on Sunday. So we're looking forward to that. That's our third mini pints of the year so far. I think we have about 10 more to go this year, so we're really just getting started on those. And then we're out pretty much at every Friday game for the Fightins. We're sponsors of Fiesta Friday, so we're out at those. And our Bark in the Park started this past Sunday. So there's a few more. I think there's 4 more Bark in the Parks this season for folks to come out and bring their dog to the game. So we sponsor those as well. So between those two things, that keeps us pretty busy. And then we just have a ton of other community events that we go to as much as we can in Berks and Lancaster counties.
Okay. Very good. Anything else we need to know about, Anthony, happening out in Reading? How do you keep yourself busy when the team's away?
Get ready for the next one. That's all I do. One big routine. You send out some pictures, you get ready for the next one. That's what I do.
I think it's a little bit more than that. You're not giving away any trade secrets. I don't want to play poker with you.
It's just, yeah, it's fun. It's long. That's all.
All right. So we're back in Reading next Wednesday night. We're really looking forward to it. Actually, we're gonna set up a table with as much wrestling memorabilia that we have and we can bring along. And we're going to be doing a donation drive again, I guess. Is that what we've kind of lined up?
Well, we'll be doing raffles again. So all the stuff that you're going to bring up, we're going to sell raffle tickets for. We're going to set it up a little bit differently this time as far as the levels and what you can purchase, because all the money that we raise will be donated to St. Jude in the memory of Scott Hall. So we're hoping that people dig deep and really support this one because, once again, all the money that's raised is being donated to St. Jude in the memory of Scott Hall. That came to us directly from Kevin Nash as a charity that Scott liked to help and participate in as much as he could. So that's where that's coming from. So we'll be donating all that money back in his memory.
So, I like to do things with a little bit of a splash. And, like I said to you before, I'm not one for just donating something. I like to leave a little bit of an impression, and I want to make as much money for the foundation as possible. So I've dug out a couple of some pretty serious autographed items of one Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
So I'll just throw that out there. We'll just let that kind of simmer for a week. There's gonna be some other really cool stuff. Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Tony Atlas. Who else have we had? Tito Santana. We've got some other little treasures. We might mix in a little bit of boxing as well. I guess Larry Holmes is a local guy from Easton, PA. So why not sprinkle the table with a little something from Larry Holmes? I'm hoping to write a nice check.
Yes.
We did well last week, with the Darren Dalton Foundation between Hanrahan's and Reading. I'm hoping to get into the 4-digit area, make it really worthwhile, get some people's attention, and let Kevin Nash know that we appreciate him coming out and you know seeing what we're doing and what Reading's doing. I know, Anthony, you've been planning this one for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. That's for sure. Yeah,
So
3 years, I think.
Yep.
so we're looking forward to a lot of fun. We like to have fun, and we like to have a couple cold beers too. So nothing wrong with that, right?
Nope, not at all.
John, I'm gonna throw it up to you. I'm gonna throw it cold because I know you're not prepared. You're not a big guy about stats and all that sort of stuff. You're not a big analytic guy at all.
No.
I say that
Tongue in cheek.
sarcastically,
Uh-huh.
but let's just, we got a few minutes. Let's look at the Phillies. You mentioned what, 112 games left.
112 left. Yep.
Where do they need to be? Where do they need to get to get back in this division, the playoff hunt, winning baseball? Where do they need to, and how do they get there?
Well, whew, that's a loaded question.
You got 8 minutes. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I
Burn
mean,
it up.
oh yeah, we will. We will. I mean, there's a lot of things. The last 100 games of their schedule, once the Brewers series is over, is the easiest schedule in baseball by win percentage. So hopefully that will help the offense get a little bit better hitting wise, which then hopefully will allow the bullpen not to be exposed as much as they are in tight games. That they could finish out games and not be pressured, and then hopefully be able to go on a nice little run, and hopefully finish out that last 100 games. I don't know, 60-40, maybe. I don't know. That would be nice to see. I mean, positive wise, right now they're 50 games in and they're 2 games better than the Nationals were when they won, as Shawnee was saying, when they won the World Series. So I think things aren't completely out of it. They just got to, get a little bit better, learning how to close out games. You look at offensive numbers. There's a lot of numbers that they're in the top 10 in baseball, team-wise. But runners in scoring position, obviously, is their biggest weakness. They don't hit with runners in scoring position, which a lot of teams, don't do that well. But as you saw yesterday, it's gonna be tough, and the 60-40 Vegas is going to get them only get them to 81 wins. It'll be 81-81. That's still not good enough, but we'll see. It's going to be tough. Like we were saying, what Lauren had mentioned before, that they won 4 out of 7 against the Dodgers. So you got to take that as a positive. That hopefully, hey, maybe they can turn things around, and we'll see. I mean, they still have a very tough time against the Marlins, teams like that, which they have a lot of games against them. We don't have to play the Mets that much, so that's a good thing to see. Since the Mets seem to have our number right at the moment, we're 3-9 against them this year so far, we'll see. It could be tough, but like the Rudy shirt says, never quit. You got to keep faith in the team and hope. You got 112 games left, so let's stay pretty positive with it and see what happens. Mm-hmm. It can always turn around. We like you said, part of it we have to get healthy. Getting Segura hurts a lot, and hopefully get Harper healthy enough that he can play the field, so that we can. I guess he didn't like my answers.
Definitely not.
You got to get Harper healthy so that the DH spot can give guys like JT and Hoskins a day off, or another. Just get Schwarber out of the outfield, or Castellanos.
So going back to bunting for a second there, that kid they just called up, that Nick Maton guy, he bunts, gets to first because they totally bobble the ball and can't make a play, and then Adubel Herrera scores.
Yep. Well, that's they watched, the analytics department saw that the Giants are doing it, so now they're changing it up, because that's
right.
I mean, that's like you said, Anthony. It's just a all around copycat league, and it's
sad because they're I don't know. I'm just worried. I feel like they're collecting money now, but at some point, I feel like the money's going to dry up because it's not as exciting as it has been before. So it's just a little concerning.
Yeah. Oh no, it's true. I mean, it's bad when you got like I heard this thing before, and talking on Major League Baseball, it floored me when I heard it, that teams already like put into their analogs or whatever they do. They know what they're going to do at the end of the season, and whether they win the World Series or not, type of thing, and then they work backwards, and instead of looking at today and going forward, you can't play out a game and know, hey, in the 9th inning tonight, when it's before the game even started, we're going to use this pitcher. You can't say that in baseball, because it's too many things happen, too many variables.
Right.
And it's just crazy how they think it's simple to just do it. Because a lot of these younger people, they watch the baseball, the MLB, the show games, and think that it's easy. They can be their own managers and their general managers, and they think they can run the leagues, and it's just, it's simple. It looks good on the when you're playing the video game, but not when you're actually playing it on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough to see it all around baseball, and you have a better view of it because you see the minor leagues, every day.
Yep.
We watch it on TV, but you're right there firsthand watching it, and it's tough. It's very, very tough to with so many. There you go. Just giving a little tease. Just having that kind of. There's too many variables to be doing things on paper. It's just between injuries. A guy is hot today and hitting the ball, and tomorrow he's not, and so you can't predict that it's going to be the same. And
yep.
It's just
all right, Johnny. We're about ready to close this one out, and I was just where am I at here? Here we go. So This is a authentic Hulk Hogan scarf, right out of Clearwater. This will be one of the items that'll be packaged up with. I'm hoping to get a little creative and maybe do a little city distilling basket, and have the have a little drink involved with the Hulk Hogan autograph scarf. Make a nice little package for somebody. But we're gonna have or Anthony, we're gonna have the same setup pretty much as our sponsored table.
I believe so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, we're probably going to have about 10 items, I guess. Lauren, is that pretty accurate for next week?
Yeah, sounds good.
So we're really looking to. Baseball Town doesn't need my help in selling tickets for this one. I think it'll be a sellout crowd, pretty much. Anyway, but whatever we can do to help out. Where did you say the money's being raised for, Lauren? The St. Jude?
Yeah, St. Jude. So St. Jude's Hospital helps kids battling cancer and other things. Oversee a bill when they're in there, so they take care of all the bills and things like that, which is great for the parents, obviously. But for those who aren't necessarily familiar with Wrestling Night in Reading, real quick, there's kind of 3 options for tickets, and all of them I think are still available. The top level is your VIP package. That's going to get you the exclusive bobblehead, and that's going to get you a VIP meet and greet with Kevin Nash, and you can get that bobblehead signed. So that's your top level ticket you can buy. You can just buy a ticket to the game and add on the bobblehead, but that doesn't obviously guarantee you an autograph and doesn't include the Kevin Nash meet and greet. You can just buy a ticket to the game, come in, and try and get a limited autograph in the line because he'll be signing a few autographs. Once the game starts, that's what we're sponsoring, the public autograph signing. But they do pass out numbers for that, and there's only a certain amount that he signs in that designated time. So that's your least guaranteed autograph. So if you really want the bobblehead and you want it signed, you want to go the VIP route. For that, if you just want the bobblehead, you can just do a ticket and add the bobblehead on, or you can just purchase a ticket to the actual game, hop in line, and try to get something signed. And that signing is brought to you by Carl's Cards.
And also swing by our table and purchase some raffle tickets.
Yep.
And if I know Anthony, he'll be running around with his little white sheet of paper.
Well, that's for sure.
Yep.
And he'll want to know what the numbers are that are drawn so they can announce those winners probably, at the end of the 7th inning?
Usually around there. Maybe
maybe the 8th, drag this one out a little bit longer, let people buy more and more tickets.
Okay.
And then I guess, Dad, we can make a decision for people who aren't going to be at the game. If they'd like to still support, we may offer up the opportunity for people to buy raffles off site.
100%. 100%. I know we got a little crazy last week, but it was well worth it.
Right.
But yeah, again, we need to fill Baseball Town for Wrestling Night. I want to thank Anthony for getting us involved this year. I'm an old school wrestling fan. I couldn't name 3 guys from, the current WWE, but the old school guys, I'm totally on board with. So, I'm pretty stoked for it. Should be a lot of fun. Guys, I got a couple of sad things to sign off with, and I don't like necessarily talking about, sad things, but a good friend of ours, Bill Mattis, who was on earlier, had a death in the family in the past 48 hours. And, my heart goes out to the family. We all know and love him. He's a great guy. He give you the shirt off his back. He loves his granddaughters, and my heart bleeds for him. He's just a great individual, and Bill, whatever we can do as a family, we're here for you. Great guy, great person. We love the whole family. So, on that note, I just want to send out some prayers to another one of our good friends of the show. We talk about Carl's Cards and 27 years in business, and people walk through the door as customers and they leave as friends. And this guy fits that bill. And I haven't known him that long. Jim Wright, going through some tough times right now. And we're there for him. We're battling with him. And whatever we can do. He was out there in Reading the night before us for the Darren Dalton night for Cancer Sucks. His sister made a great showing for the family out there, and I was happy to see that. But Jimmy, we're thinking of you. You got this, man. You got this, and if there's anything that this Fans View, Carl's Cards, Reading, our Phils, Humane, Pennsylvania, we're there for you. Whatever we can do, we're on board. So we got to get back together and have a couple beers together. So On that note, guys, if you guys are free and clear,
Yeah.
I think we've covered just about everything. The Phillies are going on per Shuggy an 18-2 run, so we're going to hold Shuggy to it. So
Yeah.
whatever the hell that means, with 18-2, I'll take.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
I'll take it. So I told you I was keeping it positive, so that's as much positive as I got.
That's
But
all we can ask for.
I want to see everybody next Wednesday night out in Baseball Town. What do you say?
Sounds good.
I'll be
All
there.
right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.